Yo, 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 what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Nick the Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. To all the returning friends and family, you already know it's peace and blessings. Give y'all a little bit of time to tune in case these notifications ain't go out. Serious, what's going on, baby? Apologies for the wind in the background. Had to come outside and take a little breather. Workflow as always. Um, First things first, hopefully everybody had a blessed and productive Sunday, and hopefully everybody enjoyed their weekends. Hopefully everybody enjoyed their holidays, those days that you was off. I know some of y'all getting yourselves prepared and ready for the work week. Hopefully y'all have a safe one, a straight one. Word, what's going on, my guy? Amy, what's going on, baby? It's been a minute. Hope all is well with you, baby. Appreciate everybody that tuned in earlier this morning for the conversation. Definitely was a good one, especially one that was needed. And if you missed it, you catch the replay. Tonight, I'm not going to hold y'all all night. Just bouncing off a few things. First things first, before my mouth go left, because I want to give a strong message to some of you youth out there and some of you young adults out there. Your pains should not be reflected in going on to other people. Some of you are living your pain, and again, you're going about it the wrong way. Now, some of you who I know for a fact have thoughts in your mind to do things that you know darn well is immorally wrong. But I would tell you in that same instance, if you do decide to do that, just know there's consequences that come behind it. Now, recently, I've been seeing a whole bunch of videos detailing what really goes on behind these prison walls. It's not a good look. And it ain't a good look for some of these people who do go in there and they got certain things like sexual attacks on a rap sheet. That doesn't go away. And that doesn't sit well with most people anyway. I watched a video of a guy literally handcuffed, well, zip tied basically. They even zip tied his hands behind his back. They done beat that boy profusely. And you know it's embarrassing when you're not just getting beat up with hands. Somebody actually tucked the belt and was going across him like he was a child. Reason why? That person did something to a child and just happened to be in the cell with the person that did not want to hear that. Once they found out what was what, yeah, this is the things that are going to happen. See, there are a lot of you dudes out there who you're thinking on that type of time, you're thinking that it's cool to do so. When you force an issue on certain things, even to that degree, those consequences are dire. Now, as gruesome as it was, I couldn't feel bad about that because, again, whatever you did for that to get done to you, hey, you deserve it. Commander, what's going on, baby? Moop, moop. See, again, some of y'all got to get in control of your urges. You got to get in control of your overall psyche. You have to think before you do again. Now, again, there was another video of a guy, it looked like they stabbed him up. I don't know if the dude survived or not, but another situation of a dude harming a child or harming a teenager. And not just one time, he did this multiple times. I've always believed that once you do certain acts like that and you continuously do it, when your karma and that justice comes, it's going to come swift. It's definitely going to come hard. And again, you know, you set yourself up for that. James, what's going on, my guy? No doubt, Amy. Get you some rest, baby. It is time for some of y'all again to open your minds and realize that Things like that, crimes of that nature, they don't go unpunished. Even if you think you clearly getting away with something, at some point, that higher power will intervene and humble your ass. And it has to be said because, again, this is not the type of way that you should be thinking, and this ain't the type of message that you should be sending. No, no young man, no young woman should have to worry about anybody doing things to them that shouldn't be done to them at all. But it's sad that you have a small, if not almost a decent handful of y'all that actually think that that's the way to go. It ain't. Because if you don't want to risk your life or possibly lose your life or get tortured for life, think before you do. Because that's not the way to go anyway. That's not the way to present yourself as a person, period. Again, once you got any type of sexual attacks or crimes on your name to a point of even being on a registry, your life is basically completely tarnished right now. It's done for. Because now, wherever you go, prime example, you got to register that you're on that list. I think that's the scariest part about it, that we really got people out there in the world that are committing these type of crimes and people who are even assisted in these crimes. There are some women out there, like I said too, who are assisting these men in these type of crimes. My thing is, again, what mindset do you have, or what is really wrong with you, or what has happened to you at some point in your life that you felt that was the necessary route to go? Now, there's a small handful who probably have been victims of abuse. So again, those who was abused become the abusers, and it still doesn't give them no right to do so anyway, because you might have been hurt. When you get a certain age, you should understand that you need to go get you the help possible. Some of y'all are scared to fight your demons. That's the problem right there. Some of y'all are scared to fight your demons. So again, you will sit there and take whatever was done to you and do that to others. But it's not a good look on. Bronze, what's going on, my guy? It's not a good look. So you are going to risk your well-being and your safety, or possibly your life, because again, you can't get in control of your urges and you can't get in control of your impulsiveness. It sets a real bad precedent for real. And it is time for people to understand that we got to start coming back on that notion again of just keeping things on a watchful tip. Some of these crimes is happening right up under our noses, and then when we do find out, some of us are not, again, jumping on the way we supposed to jump on. Sorry, we're not gonna sit there and continue to allow people to get hurt. See, at least in this community of ours back then, we wasn't hearing it. It wasn't no you was doing whatever and it was just gonna be accepted. No, we was taking your head off if we had to. By the law of the land, that's exactly what it was supposed to be. I still feel that's the worst thing in the world when these young children and these teenagers gotta go through sick abuse. And if it's not happening at home, it's happening somewhere around it. For some of you young folks out there who have been victims one way or another, again, I would strongly urge that you try to get you the best help possible. It's hard to trust people when you know you've had things done to you by people, but not everybody has an agenda and not everybody is out to hurt you. You have to remember that part too. And then you will have people who definitely help you in those situations, but you have to open your mouth. You can't suffer in silence no more. And I'm saying this from a real good place in my heart. There should be no more suffering in silence. When you know there's certain things happening, try to get you the best help possible, even if you have to get professional help. And I want to apologize to those earlier. I was supposed to do the Twitch stream, but as some of y'all just heard with all that wind and commotion going on, we had a crazy storm happened early this afternoon. And even though it stopped raining right now, it's still windy as hell. So just been getting a blunt force of it. But I'll definitely be doing the stream tomorrow. Definitely, I'm gonna start that live stream probably around 5 or 6, give or take. Definitely make sure y'all download that app and follow your boy. You know, and for those who are following me on Rumble, I'm still trying to figure out how the hell to go live, but I'm still messing with the app nonetheless. So just bear with me, y'all. But again, stop suffering in silence. Your strength should come from within. Even when you feel you at your weakest moment, you're supposed to muster up that strength to say, nah, I can't let this happen no more. Because again, essentially, your life is in the balance. And I do feel bad for those who had to go through pain and suffering, especially those who are having those pains and suffering start from home. See, I'm just going to keep it as real as possible. And some of you young men and some of you young women, yes, there are women on that registry as well too, especially those who was down with the axe. Oh, another thing I want to tell y'all: certain things you do is a crime, and it will be considered kidnapping. There's other things that you know for a fact is a crime, and you shouldn't even be thinking along those lines. Kidnapping people, abducting people, even the simplest thing like holding somebody for ransom. Those is crimes that, again, those don't sit well on your damn record. They don't sit well, period. Nah, bro, I got you, bro. No, I'm able to see what I was seeing on the thing because I didn't have that button before as far as the record button in the middle of the shit, but I got it now. But I hit you on the back end though. I think I could record though. That's the sad part. I could record. But I don't know if I could do. I'm gonna see how this works out. But nonetheless, we still learning this. Because again, there are gonna be some things I'm just not gonna be bringing here because I don't feel like putting up no copyright disclaimers, especially on this one that's already in the description. But nonetheless, again, I feel bad for those who had childhood traumas and suffering, especially from the home itself. That's why I said, as a community, you got to get back to the watchful eyes, knowing your neighbors, knowing who's who, because again, you could possibly stop another one of those crimes from happening. Those type of abuses, whether it's verbal, sexual, whatever, again, they affect and they do damage in the long run. It does completely mess with somebody's psyche when you're moving along that notion. And there's some of you, honestly, that should never be parents because your mindsets are screwed up. And in the long run, you screw up essentially your offspring. And then your offspring continues that cycle of abuse and negativity. Susanna, what's going on, baby? Yeah, I'm gonna definitely look into that later, though. Definitely. Um, oh no, I got all of that, bro. I purchased StreamYard, so I got all of that. Like I say I'm still trying to figure certain things out, but hey, it's a process. But again, let's start really paying attention to what's going on in our community. If we see certain things that look unsavory and it definitely just look unhealthy, intervene. You never know. You could be possibly saving somebody from suffering another night. And this is why people are suffering in silence because they are not getting the help properly. Some of them are not getting it, and some that can get it, they won't get it because they too scared to talk. There's nothing worse than somebody that doesn't know if they should be able to trust you or not. Saddest part about it. And I seen another thing that's been kind of like a ongoing situation. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier about some of these people crashing out for a viral moment. I just watched a video of looked like it was a young teen on a skateboard. Yeah, I guess he lost balance off the skateboard. But in the same token, the car had just got to an abrupt stop. That's not that car's fault that they didn't see you, especially when you're somewhat playing in the streets. But then you go and smash somebody's windows. See, and almost got yourself hit again. It's crazy. You're sitting there bugging out. And there's some of you that need to get in control of your emotions because that same thing is going to be your downfall. Now, hopefully, that kid didn't get ran down because that guy wasn't trying to hear that. You just smashed my window with your skateboard. First of all, you almost got yourself hit because you're not paying attention. It's bad enough I almost had to abruptly stop because of that. But you're going to get mad at me. Can't do that stuff. There's ways to go about frustration without having to do something that could cause physical violence or even harm, especially harm on yourself. Now, if he wouldn't have ran when he ran, I think the guy would have ran his ass over, which he would have had all rights to do so because you just attacked me. You just property damaged something that I purchased. You're bugging out. Get in control of your emotions before it hurts you. This is a prime example of straight downfall every corner that you look. Because again, people are not in control of their emotions. They will let that aggression keep seeping, and then when it comes out in all the wrong factors that just don't look well. And honestly, even if that man didn't do whatever, he could still press charges on you because again, you damaged his vehicle. He didn't harm you or nothing. He might have been a little abrasive when he said, "Watch where you're going." But he had all rights to say that too, because if I'm driving the car and I'm not expecting you to be popping up in front of my car, that causes me some sort of distress right there, because I could possibly flip my car over or crash into a pole. Again, some of y'all just doing certain things, even in the streets, right? Gotta be careful. Now, I just watched another video of, I guess, a guy accidentally hit somebody Hellcat, and the guy pulls out the gun and starts shooting at the other car. Like, if it was an accident, what's the purpose of shooting at somebody? As long as nobody was hurt, that's the most important thing. Some of y'all should remember that. There are things that you got to be aware of. If you didn't physically get hurt or distraught for that reason, there's no need for you to act foolish. Now, guess what? You would have shot, that bullet would have pierced somebody's window and would have hurt that same. Then what? You're not thinking. Because at that moment, it's only this that matters. Some of y'all really better get into perspective what's important and what's not important. Certain materialistic items is not worth you losing your life over. It's some of y'all that would really try to kill somebody for the simplest material object, but guess what? You done messed yourself up and done messed up the lives of somebody else if you do go far. One thing I am going to say though, Again, some of y'all have to start making clearer decisions in your life. It's good to follow that notion because that notion is going to be your downfall. Sorry to say it that way, but it is the truth, though, nonetheless. Stop getting bent out of shape and out of character over things that you know you could replace. There's a few things on this agenda tonight, but I felt like two of those main ones had to get said first. Again, some of y'all are crashing all the way out for a viral moment. At some point, that crash out will be more than just a burnout. You might not make it to whatever destination you think you're trying to make it to if you're being stupid. And I gotta say it that way. Because when you make stupid decisions and continuously make stupid decisions, you're gonna get stupid results all the time. Appreciate you for dropping all those links, serious baby. So like I said, I expect not too many to chime in for this convo, and nonetheless, doesn't matter. Lesson still gets out there one way or another. You young teens out there, definitely keep yourself preserved. Again, nobody should have to worry about burying nobody well before time. And nobody should have to worry about coming to visit you behind no cold ass prison wall. Keep that in mind. Dangerous results when you playing around in dangerous situations. Now, see, we previously seen a situation, and this wasn't even a teen, this is a whole grown up. You took your time to drive out here to the city, not having no real ties to the city at all. Going through certain areas where you know is dangerous, again, just for some views and some clout. Now, things could have turned left on either angle. Things could have turned left while you was on that live stream. Again, there's some people who have lost their lives during the making of a live stream, whether it was on Facebook or whatever. Again, you want to be funny style and try to make light of a certain situation, but it don't always end up going in your favor. And again, if you took your time and your all in all shared will to actually come out and do something along those lines, you're crazy. I'm sorry. You gotta be loose in the head to really think that that could have ended well for you. And you lucky it ended the right way and not the wrong way. Now somebody just had to quote unquote just let you have it and air you out verbally. They ain't even have to get physical with you. Because some of you are not prepared for that physicality. There are some people who are again not going to want to hear the dumbness that you don't. It's never cool to try to run down on people, especially people you don't know, and you trying to ask about certain people. Some of these people might not know who you're talking about. Some of these people might feel you crazy. Some of these people might actually think you doing some sort of prank, and it can end wrong for you. Now, if the wrong people would have came across you, even while you was coming down these areas, you could have got yourself killed on the live, basically. It is time for some of y'all to stop thinking that viral minute or that viral 15 minutes of fame is going to be your easy meal ticket. It ain't. Because now when it's all said and done, you just got all of that viral fame for what? And it's making you look bad. It tarnishes your all in all. And some of you who are still running around here calling people out, being disrespectful, again, doing things that you know for a fact no real man or woman is going to tolerate. You're pulling little kid moves, and when it's all said and done, you're going to get sat down like a little kid. Certain instances, you definitely going to get yourself spanked up because this is what you was leading up to. Some they ain't gotta do much. They gonna verbally kill you right there. Why? Because again, when they can test the temperature and see what it is, they know how to deal with people like you. Again, stop crashing and burning for that moment. Think clear before you do things. If something is telling you not to do something because it could have a dire impact on you, then don't do it. Do you think I should go to try to quote unquote rob a bank knowing I could possibly get myself arrested, shot, or killed? No, I shouldn't be doing that at all. If I know it's wrong in my gut, I need to stop myself before it becomes a problem. But again, some of you are not in control of that. And some of you can get in control of it, but you won't because that's just what you essentially want to do. That's your thrill. That's what gets you off, right? But remember, those same things that make you laugh can also make you cry. It's funny when you laughing and poking fun at situations like, suicide or even things along those natures. It's funny. It's joking. There's jokes behind it. It's funny. It's all bread and gravy until it really hits hard and it hits home and it hits fast. Then you gonna realize that wasn't the way to go. See, those karmas do come back one way or another. I still believe that firmly. One thing I am going to say again tonight too is if you know you still have the ample time to collect your thoughts and move accordingly, you should be doing so. Also, I would tell some of you young folks out there, teens, even young adults for real, stop drinking and driving. Stop getting behind these wheels when you know you're too intoxicated. I don't care if you've been drinking, popping pills, doing whatever. Anything that's going to leave you incoherent or that's not going to have you in the right mind state, you shouldn't be thinking about doing that at all. Because again, essentially, you're going to mess up a balance with people and you're going to mess up and destroy families. Because now it'd be your luck, you that wasted out your mind and you catch a vehicular homicide. Or it even gets upgraded because, again, you didn't sit there and actually think that this is not the wise step to move. It's not the wisest step to make, not the wisest move to make. I just watched the previous video where, again, we got some of these youth thinking they adults, trying to make adult decisions that they know they ain't gonna be capable of making. Young boy kind of realized it anyway when he sobered up. And he said it himself. I just basically messed my life up. Now the cop tried to let him know like you didn't mess it up, but it has definitely changed. But that boy said what he felt because he knew it. Got caught for vehicular homicide and murder. You ain't just hit one person, you hit multiple people. Again, getting behind tons of steel, knowing that you intoxicated on any form, even down to medication, is a bad look. And why again do some of y'all still continue to move on that notion when you know that's not the best option at all? Give me 1 second. And this is what I'm saying. You got to think about that. I'm I'm that intoxicated to a point where I can't walk. I could barely see. Do you think I should really get behind any type of vehicle? It's the same way with medications. If you know those medications are going to leave you drowsy, they're going to definitely have some sort of side effect that could hurt you. Why put yourself behind the wheel? Now, again, that young man already accepted his fate. He already know he messed up. He already know he messed up. World famous. What's going on, my guy? Yeah, you essentially ruined your life. And the sad part about it, the young man was only 5 weeks away from graduation. So just imagine you out here running these streets, thinking that you grown, you making adult decisions, and then that happens. You just essentially screwed up the rest of your little bit of a life. And depending on what state you are in, they ain't trying to hear that. Any type of homicide, they ain't trying to hear that. You're gonna definitely get some time behind it. And I'm sorry, this is the saddest thing in America right now. No accountability and responsibility. Now, in that instance right there, because you could tell he was visibly distraught and he was realizing, like, damn, this is really what the hell happened. Again, if you know you ain't a drinker at all, honestly, shouldn't no kid be drinking at all. No teen should be drinking. Again, you shouldn't be making no adult choices and you're not an adult. Liz, what's going on, baby? It's something that you really should think about because those decisions have hard consequences. Now, again, you're going to be sitting in the cell with a bunch of grown-ups being charged as an adult. So now you possibly got to worry about not just defending yourself in it. You got to worry about if you're going to make it out of it. And you got to come to sit in reality that I want to be in here for my decisions and me not actually making the right ones. Another one I seen, the judge was basically telling this dude that, when you decide to do what you did that day and you waved that gun, you didn't just affect one life, you affected multiple lives, including your own. And that judge had to literally sit there and give him the verbal lashing without giving him a physical one either. But the way he said it, I could tell homie definitely felt it because there was no reaction besides accepting the fact that you're going to be sitting the rest of your life in jail for something you didn't necessarily have to do. That is another reason why I say some of y'all have to get in control of your emotions. If it's really worth it like you say it is, okay, then expect the consequences and take that. Didi, what's going on, baby? Saying we got to come back to that conclusion. It is time for, again, some of you parents, guardians, even some of you people in the community that know for a fact you could be a help one way or another to actually be a help. Does it make sense, again, that some of these youth and even some of these young adults are losing a portion of their life because of reckless decisions? Better decision making leads to better results. I've always felt that. Now, in those two instances, even though they different ones, I felt bad for the young man because, again, you was 5 weeks away from graduation. And you basically are going to be sitting the rest of your time in jail, at least until sentencing and everything else. So that means you're not going to really be amongst your flock the way you want to. Some of y'all got to understand that, again, your decisions are your decisions. And when you choose to make them and stand on them, you have to stand on them. You can't expect somebody else to get you out. You can't expect the world to feel sorry. Because if you're constantly making the same mistakes over and over again, now it's not a mistake. You're just doing it because you want to do it. And you feel that nothing can happen. But I'm here to tell you that at some points, that karma does come back. And it's real. It is definitely real, and it's time for some of y'all to get on board and get on the right path. Kev, what's going on, my guy? My fault. My damn chat lagging a little bit. I expected that anyway with this damn weather. But again, essentially, it goes back to what I was saying before. Start loving yourself more and start trusting yourself more. Trust the process. This phone is definitely tweaking right now, y'all. My shit is definitely bugging out, y'all. Give me a second. Let's be real. So you have to worry about, and I'm going to say this to some parents that need to hear it. What's more important? Your child trying to elevate in life or your child going through the penile system? That's a question that essentially should be asked. And it really should be answered honestly. Again, I feel bad only because you was just about a month away from, elevating and going into your next stage of life. And now you're elevating into a prison system, and you could be possibly spending a majority of your adulthood in prison. Again, essentially, if I'm making a decision, you didn't have to. You didn't have to get behind that wheel. And you definitely didn't have to hit the people that you hit. And if you wouldn't have hit the people, or if you wouldn't have killed that one in particular, you might have got somewhat of a slap on the wrist. You still would have had to go through some BS, but nonetheless, you would have got off somewhat with a warning. You didn't hit those people. Yeah, I know, Petty. I know. I know. But it's the truth, though. You want your kids to be locked up for life when they should be enjoying their life? Because again, essentially, what does that say? That you honestly don't care. We got to start caring, and on all angles. Again, I would advise that some of you young folks out there think before you do. Don't make an adult decision that could have a costly consequence. There are some who are doing exactly what I'm saying. They are trying to stay away from the madness and trying to keep themselves into a position where they don't got to worry about it as much. But then you got those who, again, are solely just doing what they want to do because they feel they can do it. And nobody is going to stop them or anything. But guess what? That's going to be the problem. Because again, there should be no reason why some of you are making these consequences worse than they need to be. The consequences for you are going to be worse. Prime example, some of these people that are going to jail now, they well too young. So just imagine you being too young, prime example, to be charged as an adult, just charged at all. How do we fix that? But then again, I've always felt like this in certain states, it don't matter what age you are. You make an adult decision, you're going to get the adult consequence. Was watching a video of it was a surveillance video. But all these kids basically was young, and the kid who actually did the shooting was only 12 years old. The victim that lost their life was 12. It was two people that got hit. But this is what I'm saying. Be careful of the people you around and watch the people as you go. No 12-year-old should be having to face adult charges, especially over something they ain't supposed to be doing. How did they get the gun? There was another incident where 13-year-old, and I thought he was older than 13 when he appeared in front of the judge, but apparently he was only 13 years old. And see, this is a problem I was going to say with some of these quote unquote parents. You didn't seem too distraught. I think in that instance, you was looking for something to happen to your son, so you could have a reason to have a lawsuit, basically. Now, why is your 13-year-old son waving a gun at the cops? That's number one. And second, honestly, you are lucky that they didn't shoot the kid, because that's exactly when it comes to us melanated folks. They are quick to do that. If they think we are being aggressive or we the aggressors, they will quickly shoot. That boy just gave that with the skin of his teeth. That right there was an intervention from that higher power, because it could be some real confusion going on. And again, that parent didn't seem as distraught. She should have been thanking her stars for real. But you're gonna ask the question, why didn't they? Because obviously, not all of them are shooting to kill, especially if they think is not a real heavy situation. No, that's the truth though, series. What you just said is the truth. Now, see, that parent has to take accountability and responsibility. Because now, look, your son technically was too young to to get charged or to face a sentence, which you're lucky for. Because it doesn't matter. In other states, they don't care. You 12 years old, you're gonna be sitting up. You might not be sitting with the adults, but you'll be sitting up in a juvie until you're 18. And then, trust me, if you would have murdered somebody, you was definitely gonna be going through the whole system. Oh no, it is, James. Trust me. Well, it's strong, but not as it was when I first came in. Shoot, I could have swore I seen Toto and Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz flying past me. But gotta think about that. Your son could have been a casualty, and I think the most you probably would have did was say, "This is my opportunity. Now I can sue the city." I think some of y'all are sabotaging and setting your kids up when you don't try to set them up for something right. Again, it is a decision to be made, but again, clearly, in certain instances, they still need your guidance. And again, if your child would have died, then what? Would you have really felt that pain and that anguish? Or would you have just said this was your next meal ticket? Because she didn't seem, like most people that understood that type of situation right there, they would be in tears. And they would definitely be giving their praises to that higher power, because, again, they could have lost the child. But again, you got to ask where your child got the gun from, number one. Why they need the gun, number two. And you got to sit down and set them straight. This is why I said some of you fathers out there definitely going to have to really get in your kids' lives, man, one way or another. See, there's always going to be little breaks and bounds when it comes to that, again, because now some of you are, again, using kids for pawns. This is not the way to go. This is why we are constantly getting this ripple effect. A lot of these kids are running wild because you parents are allowing them to. You guardians are allowing them to. Even the people in the community, you are allowing them to basically make the calls on everything. The roles in society have been reversed into the worst part of all of it. It's time to break that cycle. Parents start being parents. Forget trying to always be friends with your kids. Be a parent. See, when they don't learn structure, they don't learn respect, they don't learn any of those things that we need as far as growth and advancement, that becomes a disadvantage. Start teaching them even the simplest things like respect. Because guess what? Some of your kids are gonna be targets. Why? Because if they've already done something that's being frowned upon or the people definitely just ain't taking, trust me, it'll be a matter of time before your kid end up being one of those walk of shames or possibly lost in the grave. Essentially, the decision is up to you to really start instilling boundaries, respect, decorum, all of that. It is necessary. Your kid shouldn't be coming out disrespecting adults that are older enough to be their parents or their grandparents for that matter. I watched the fight happen on a city bus one day, and see, it could have been avoided. The sad part was that fight that took place, the person knew exactly who that was, and it was bound to happen because they got tired of the disrespect. They got tired of them disrespecting others. No way a young boy should be calling a lady a old bitch. Excuse me for saying it that way, y'all. But there's no way you're gonna tell me that's comfortable for a child to call anybody out their character. Some people are not playing. Now you called that lady a old bitch, and guess what? You ain't even know one of her family members was on that bus and wailed on you. Now, again, in certain instances, if it was a different situation, I'd have said, nah, that's messed up, homie, got that done to him. But then again, you got to be mindful of your words, be mindful of your actions. And I'm speaking even down to you younger folks, be mindful of your actions. They do have dire consequences at some point. You're not going to be able to keep disrespecting people, even to the point of trying to do any physical harm to them, and you don't think something is not going to happen back to you. Because you have some people who are being brought up the right way, but some of them are still sadly being influenced, and then they're making decisions that they know they wouldn't normally make. But see, I've always believed, again, when you sit down and you really talk to your kids even that young and teach them what they need to know and the things that are definitely going to be beneficial for them, we can start breaking the cycle. Because this type of cycle should never be accepted again. Right now, you got more youngins crashing out than adults. The reason why the adults ain't crashing out wild crazy like that is because some of them are actually coming home from jail now. Or some of them have been home from jail long enough and they realize that that's not the system they want to be in. And I'm going to say this because I see this as a thing that's being celebrated and glorified. There's nothing to be celebrated or glorified about losing your freedom. I don't care if it's 5 years, 10 years, life. There's no glorification in you losing your freedom and your privileges that you had when you was out and about. And again, you are essentially leaving your family at a disadvantage. There's some people who are really happy that, yeah, I'm behind bars, I'm holding it down, I'm doing what I say I'm doing. That's not holding it down. That's just looking like a whole clown. I'm sorry to say it that way. There's some of you who won't realize it until you really get deep into your bids and you see, like, damn, I really messed up and I ain't have to do it. I didn't necessarily have to crash out. Again, essentially everything in life is a choice. What choices do you make that will actually keep you whole and safe? Gotta understand that. You get one life in this shell of a body, and you want to try to make the best of every moment that you are here to make it happen. But again, there is no glorification in losing freedom. Being told when to wake up, when to go have your shower, when to go eat, when to have recreation, when to go take meds if you do take meds. Nobody wants that. No grown man or woman should even think that that's the way, because it's not. It's not cool to be celebrating that you locked up and possibly ruining the rest of your life because you want to be down so bad. You want to be glorified. You want to have that notoriety of everything. Bad, y'all. Muted myself again by mistake. I had to pin that up serious because that's the truth. What you just said was flat out truth. Again, it is essentially up to you parents to educate and try to bring as much possible, even when the world around you is showing you something different. One I was about to say, once you're done with break, just hit up Aaron and let him go. Bad, y'all conducting breaks today too. But that is essentially the truth right there. See, a job as a parent is never done because again, you want to see the best. You want to see the best things happening for your child. But how do you make that work again if you're not teaching them things you're supposed to? That's why I say it's certain things you shouldn't say or do, especially around your kids, because they pick that up. They're gonna pick that up. And then guess what? They go right into the world around them with the same notion and attitude. They go around with that, nothing can happen to me. I could do and say what I want, and nothing can happen. But here, in the long run, guess what? It doesn't work that way. And we've seen this happen time and time and again. It is time for, again, some of y'all parents to be parents and stop being friends. Stop saying certain things and stop doing certain things around these kids. Because those have costly consequences again. You want your kid to be alive and well and being on a successful path, you have to teach them everything that is needed. Everything from, again, decorum, the right type of educational, values, move sets, all of that. James number 8, what's going on, my guy? Y'all already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Not going to hold too much of it because I know it's a couple notifications I just got. But I mostly wanted to bring that out there again for some of y'all that need to hear it. There should be no reason why you are not trying to stand your ground as a parent and why your kids are out here making adult decisions that could cost them their lives. And on top of that, irresponsible decisions. Those irresponsible decisions have the most direst consequence ever. Essentially, what do you tell the people? That you crashed out because you couldn't keep it together? When things happen to your children, and I'm talking about when you could have avoided all of that and could have made it happen, and you didn't. When you drop the ball as a parent with your children, you got to expect these type of things to happen. Because again, it does come back to you. It comes back full surface. You are going to be the one taking the blunt force of that. Your offspring are definitely, again, supposed to be getting into higher grounds. Now, we know there's some who come from good parents and they just decide to make their own decisions. That part right there is a tricky one. But I would still tell y'all, most of y'all are still lucky enough to have the right people around you. They want to see you do your best. They want to make sure that you at your tip top. Hey, accept the advice that's given to you. And again, some of you adults, even in the community, have to start sitting down with some of these youth, because some of these youth will actually probably listen to you if you're saying something that resonates with them and then make them think. The worst type of parenting in the world is non-parenting. When you are just bringing kids in the world and allowing them to do anything they want, you're not even trying to give them a real strong education, teach them the basic reading and writing. There's some people who are going through the phases right now, and this is why they're doing the things they're doing, because they don't know how to read nor write. They can't get in control of themselves because, again, look at the backgrounds that some of them are coming from. And some of these people are only acting out because they're not getting the attention that they require. They could be coming from good parent homes. But if you got parents that are constantly working, out and about, they barely home, that right there is a problem. Because now your kids feel that. Why do you think some of these rich kids be losing their minds, or why you think some of them actually are unhappy? Because look at what they probably had to go through. I got parents that's always out and about. They traveling, they on the road, they out of the country. I'm being left either by myself or with another family member, or possibly with a maid or something, prime example. You're not getting that full attention they should be getting. Start loving your kids more. See, I'm honestly say you gotta love yourself, because if you don't love yourself in the process, you're not gonna love your kids. You're not gonna love your family. This is why I'm saying we have people in the community that, even if they was coming from a toxic background, you had the right people in the community that would take them in as their own. Nah, we ain't gonna allow this to happen. Again, you got multiple situations, different situations. You got some kids who are suffering because both their parents could be strung out on drugs. So that means it could be multiple things happening in front of them or just around them on a daily. And that right there could cause some psych trauma. That right there could cause that deep seat in their mind that there is no hope for change. But I'm sadly going to tell you that there always going to be hope for change. You just got to see it and envision it. Yeah, that's the thing though, James. Like, look, some people be thinking, oh, these people rich, they shouldn't be upset. They shouldn't be unhappy. Yes, they can be unhappy, because if I got parents that are barely even there to watch me or even be around me when I got important things in my life happening, that becomes a stress factor. That becomes an angry factor. I could have, prime example, a talent show, or I could have something that I know for a fact I like doing and I want my parents there, but they both are out of town. So who's essentially giving me that encouragement and that backup and that strength?
But I've seen some who actually come from that lifestyle and they didn't turn out as bad. Yeah, they felt that sting of their parents not really being there, but then again, they focus was solely again on just trying to elevate regardless to what the situation is. That's what I'm saying. You got some people that think, oh, people are living their good lives, and oh, what are they complaining for? And oh, they should be mad. They got this, they don't got. They look here. I could be the richest person right now, but that don't necessarily mean I'm the happiest person. So again, take that into account. Again, I can have everything in my power, everything in my hand at that time junction, but I don't got the main thing I need. I need love. I need attention. I also need encouragement. So when you're not getting those things, guess what? That essentially opens up a boat of despair for real. You know what it is though? In serious, they do still have programs like that. The big brother, big sister programs or the mentorship programs. You right. But I ain't gonna lie to you, you know, there's a lot of people that are not willing to volunteer, they're not willing to be a part of that trying to help change. Because everybody needs a bigger brother or sister or some sort of, guidance around them. Jewel, what's going on, baby? And that's what I feel should happen. Some people in the communities that know that they want to see the best for these kids get into that big brother, big sister program. They still exist. I know mostly every state still does that. Get involved. You might have some youth around you that you see potential in, and they might not see their own potential. But if you happen to, get into that, you could spread that notion of not just goodwill, but change and everything that's needed. You get real positive results when you get the real positive people around you. Even when you at your most negative aspect of things, there's something that will always bring you out of that. That's one thing that should be encouraged and taught. No matter what's going on in life, there are things that are definitely going to be in your control. You just got to want to see that happen. The elevation is the most important thing. Start getting involved in these programs that are fading away. We have chances and opportunities to make things work. Anybody with real common sense or a sense of just morals will tell you. You can't sit there and allow these youth to keep crashing out the way they crashing out. And the more that some of you adults just sit back and allow it to happen, the worse things are going to get. It starts with all avenues. It does start with how you're being brought up at home. But I would tell some of you young folks out there who are suffering abuse at home, don't suffer in silence. Open your mouth. Open your mouth and say something definitely. The more you sit back and suffer, at some point, you're going to take that suffering out on somebody else. And then it'll never be a good look for you at all. Because that could be your last type of decision that you decide to make, especially off of emotional impulse. Again, it's time for us to change the balance on things. Start getting involved in these programs that we know for a fact are beneficial and that could make the greatest strides and changes. Again, there's going to be youth out there that need an older brother, or they're going to need an older sister, or they just going to need somebody that knows where they're coming from, can relate to where they're coming from, and try to help them on the best path to just success and growth. Risking your freedom, your livelihood, just because of the same impulses, or just because you feel that's the way you're going to leave a mark in the world, they don't sit right. Again, when we start coming to that notion of loving and trusting each other, and even just getting each other where we need to get each other, they'll be happier. Nonetheless, though, I do feel again this is something that we really need to start implementing to the people. Start getting back in that notion of giving back when you can give back. Right there, when people are joining these big brother, big sister programs, they are giving back. They're not just giving back their time and energy, they're giving back their education and their strength to those who need it. There's some of these youth out here that feel like they can't make the necessary moves and changes because they got the wrong influences around them. But when you get the right people around you, trust me, they will make it all worthwhile. Because again, I seriously believe that for every angle in life, there's always going to be change, positivity, and growth. But let's keep it real though. Do we want to see a better tomorrow, a brighter tomorrow, even after we well said and gone? Yes, we do. Do we feel all these youth should be dying young or being locked up, wasting the rest of their life in jail? No, we don't. But we always know we're gonna have the small handful that they've already been in the belly of the beast. So there's only so much you can do. Again, you can help those who want to be helped. You can't help those who don't want to receive the help or accept it. And it's hard to say it like that, but it is truth though. See, I could bring these messages daily because I feel they necessary. We really do need to shaping up the balance on how we moving things right now. Start getting back to that notion again of loving and caring and showing the best type of honor, respect, and dignity. Give back to those who you know need it. Right now, a lot of these youth, they need guidance. They ain't getting the guidance when they got the wrong people moving again like kids. Wait a minute, let me make sure this dude went to break. My bad, I told you I'm multitasking. Give out breaks today. But that's the main thing though. It is time for better solutions. It is about that time. How long are we going to continuously sit back and allow these youth behind us and the future generations to suffer? This is why the world around us is crumbling, because we are not trying to at least get these kids into a notion of making changes that they can make. Some of these kids can end up being future politicians that actually care about their communities and actually trying to help and give back. Let's really just come together for that. Instead of coming together for nonsense and foolery, come together for something that could actually be beneficial for the future generation. These future generations can end up being the politicians we need, those cops that we need, those medical fields filled up where they need to be at. Those could be the future surgeons, nurses, doctors. Let's get it together. Anita, what's going on, baby? And in that instance, you're right. It does take a village to raise kids. It's not just what they learn at home, it's what they learn in the society around them. And if they're seeing certain people making movements that are going to be their downfall, they're essentially going to follow that. So again, I would say, what message are you absolutely leaving for these people behind you? See, some of y'all might not want to hear that, but you're going to have to hear it. And some of y'all actually fear change. We should stop fearing that. Because when we show fear, we don't show no grit and determination. They pick up on that. They see that, and then they go with that notion that, yeah, we was right. They ain't nothing for us. And I'm not gonna lie, when we really get back to that, the changes will come. But again, we have to instill that in the folks. We have to. Again, love yourselves, and then you can love the people around you. Have strength, character, and wisdom, and they'll send you a long way. Oh wow, Anita. Prayers. I want to give healing prayers to those who need it, though. Definitely. On any angle, health wise, mental health, all of that. Especially around this holiday season. And I really pray and hope that a lot of you, get yourselves in order. I really pray and hope that some of y'all actually get back to your healthiest stages so you can continue to live your life. And even when you at your downest moment, remember there's always a shining bit of hope around that corner. Man, what's going on, baby? And I would tell y'all all who have been basically stopped because of any type of medical issues, don't let that determine or even put you at limits. You got to build up that inner strength, and you got to also have that courage and that wisdom and that understanding to know that whatever don't kill you will make you stronger. We are all survivors at the end of the day, one way or another. We're strong. We're not just physically strong, we're spiritually strong. And again, I want to give praise to those who definitely need it. Those who might have been suffering from COVID, those who might have been suffering from heart ailments, cancer, anything that I know for a fact is a Debbie Downer to most people. I really pray and hope that y'all do get better and that man upstairs blesses y'all with more time and more wisdom, and hopefully brings you more peace. See, again, uplifting in the best possible light is a good thing. Bringing these good conversations when it's needed, the best aspect of things. Because again, we are essentially going to change the mold. The world will get back to what it was before. I still feel that way because I'm optimistic. And I'm optimistic that, again, when we have a job to do, we're going to do it. All the real ones, they're going to do it. Got to start having a love factor all around, too. Because without that, we lost. But again, I appreciate everybody that's tuning in tonight. Like I said, I'm not going to hold y'all buzz so long. Got to start being more visual anyway on his cameras at some point. But I felt that message was needed tonight again. Start getting back and start impacting the things that we need. Get back into these big brother, big sister programs. Get back into these church drivers, pantries, so on and so forth. Huh? No doubt. Nah, hold on 1 second. I told this one to call Mike when he was done. Shoot. Make sure everybody get their breaks. But again, let's get back to that. We want better things happening in our society. We are gonna have to stop being lazy about it. Even down to the simplest thing like encouraging talks, that helps. We do have a obligation again. And our obligation is to try to leave the best messages for those who are coming in the future behind us. There are some people who are doing even the simplest thing, like making time capsules, because at some point during the future stages, somebody will find out what's what. Or if they do happen to find something that could be helpful information for them, it will definitely break the mold and it'll definitely bring back the blueprint that's needed. Again, I appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight, and hopefully somebody did get something out this message. Again, it is time to correct the things that need correcting. And if we don't get on board to do so, we're going to have a problem in the future. And our future will definitely be crumbling right in front of our eyes and the future generations' eyes because they don't have no blueprint on how to do anything. Parents, start being parents and stop being friends. People in the community, when you see these kids that need the help and you know they need the help, try to help them the best way possible. And I mean help those who actually need it and are willing to accept it. And just because certain things might not be going your way, that doesn't mean there's not a blessing that's coming around you at some point. Just keep your foot strong. Keep your faith strong. So you could possibly do. With that being said, again, appreciate everybody that's been a part of this growth and been a part of this eulogy family. And we still gonna keep pushing the ball forward. Tonight was just something I need to get out. Again, some of you youngins and some of you young adults, you're gonna have to start thinking more wise and more clearer. Because what's essentially more important again? Your livelihood or your life. Your livelihood should keep you out from them systems that are definitely having people chained up on all levels. Your life should be nothing to be played around with. because essentially the things you say and do, they could cost you that. So please think about that. But let me get up out of here. Let me start paying attention to what I need to pay attention to. I'll definitely most likely be back in the morning with the Scythe. And again, if you ain't following me on Twitch, please make sure you're doing so. I will definitely be bringing a live stream over there tomorrow. Definitely. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And tomorrow night, I definitely can have an open discussion. I'll drop the link in case anybody want to chime in. Definitely let y'all enjoy y'all evenings. I'll see some of y'all in these streets. If y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to the replay game. Shout out to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. For everybody that was in attendance tonight, y'all already know that love is love and it be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. All I can do is give you real. That's all I'm going to do is give you real topics and real builds. And Sirius, can you do me a favor and drop Words link too? We're going to go over there and show Brother Words some love. Like I said, I definitely see some of y'all running around these streets. And I'll definitely be back in the morning for the site. It's always a great blessing, again, to just have these type of talks with the people that actually listen and actually adhere to what's really going on. We need that. We get more of that type of structure, we can see a whole bunch of changes. So this way they don't suffer from the rapture. Nonetheless, we will continue to do so. Rain or shine. Y'all stay safe. Keep that third eye open. And until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.